Hello Capricorn, this is going to be your general tarot reading for May 2021. I apologize for these coming out so incredibly late. It's almost mid-month now. Hopefully you're still with me and you haven't given up on me. I was going to do your reading yesterday, but yesterday was planting day. One of the reasons why I'm late this month is because I've been working on a huge project in the backyard with building a rock wall, digging a 2-foot deep hole in rocks and sand. And yesterday was planting day, so I finally got the seeds in the ground and everything fertilized. I had to do it, and now it's done. So hopefully you can understand. This reading is for you if you are a Capricorn rising, Capricorn sun, Capricorn moon, or a Capricorn Venus. This reading may or may not resonate for you. Some parts of it may resonate strongly, other parts may not at all. If for some reason this reading does not resonate for you for May, you may want to check out some of your other placements readings, see if any of those resonate for you more. So let's see what comes out for you. And if you would like to skip through this part and just go straight to the beginning of the reading, there is a timestamp down below in the description box that you can click on, and it will take you straight to the beginning of the reading. I've been inhaling way too much dust for the past couple of days, so if I start coughing or I sound hoarse, that's the reason why. I can actually feel the dust in my lungs right now. I'm going to have to drink a ton of water and breathe fresh air that has no dust in it for the next couple of days. So, we haven't been getting enough rain this warm season so far. I'm hoping we get more rain in the future. Things tend to be really dusty here. All right, here we go. This is for Capricorn for May 2021. 11 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Ooh, that's a weird way to start it off. So for your main cards this month, I'm using the spiral deck. And for your clarifiers, I'm going to be using the Edmund Duloc deck, which Edmund Duloc was a famous illustrator of fairy tales and legends, and I believe he was active in the early 1900s. All right, well, maybe before I start, I'll pick a clarifier to go with that top one. Okay. Seems pretty straightforward, really, but we'll see the further we get into the reading if we can come up with anything else. Okay, it's an odd way to start off your reading, but it's actually not that bad at all, and your reading gets better. So, Your central energy for May 2021 seems to be you are dealing with the Five of Swords. This could be a dominating personality, a selfish personality, somebody who is overly driven to winning to the point of causing other people to the point of sabotaging other people. Definitely not a team player, definitely not someone who's very cooperative. This is someone who does not give a whit about how anyone else is doing. I suppose you could say this personality is narcissistic and possibly psychopathic, where they don't have any empathy whatsoever. This could be arguments, this could be strife, this could be slander or gossip or information getting in the way. It is swords after all, which if you take away the S, it's words. So this could be sarcastic words, painful words, hurtful words, someone who is very harsh with how they communicate, or possibly can use words to sabotage other people. And this is also fighting. Somebody being overly domineering with their words. So, if you're having to deal with some kind of a situation like this, whether it's a person or a group or a work situation or some kind of situation in your life, it looks like you will be able to sail through this no problem if you just stay calm. You have major arcana temperance. So the best way to handle this energy is to stay as calm as you possibly can, as optimistic as you possibly can, and to not react in any way in an imbalanced manner. So if other people cannot be counted on to stay calm or to be reasonable, at least you can. And you can show by example. Possibly this could, by addressing this in a temperate way, this could diffuse the situation where if someone is overly attacking, if you don't attack back, if you just stay calm, communicate in a calm way, it oftentimes diffuses the situation because it ends up naturally coloring the other person as being a jerk. When there is no defense back or there is no attack back, it makes the other party or the other person look completely unreasonable because the other half is acting reasonable. This can also infuriate that person or that group as well, and which can cause them to act even more out of control, which can color them in an even worse way. You see the strategy I'm getting to with this? Not that you want to aggravate a situation further or a person further, but by not reacting, by staying calm, by handling the situation in a balanced manner, it can diffuse it, and it also makes the other end of it be much more obvious in its techniques. So with temperance, you also have strength. Major arcana. You can handle this situation, no problem. Stay strong, stay gentle, but strong in your boundaries. Remain firm in your boundaries. If other people need to be stood up for in this situation, you are more than capable of being able to stick up for others that possibly have been victimized in one way or another. If you notice in this person has knocked someone off of the raft and doesn't care if they drown. This person could have created casualties or created situations where other people have been hurt. And whether it's mentally hurt, verbally hurt, physically hurt, doesn't have to be physical. So when you notice someone being overly cunning to the point of hurting other people in order to rise to the top or to show their dominance, it looks like you can handle it no problem. This is small pickings for you to deal with. And you may have to stand up for a situation in a calm, gentle, but firm way this month that lets them know that they're not going to be getting away with what they've been doing very much further. and that you are looking out for the possible casualties or people who have suffered because of this situation. So this could be you are placed in some kind of a leadership role, and perhaps you are new to this situation, or you are becoming aware of certain aspects of this situation that you were not aware of before. Let's say, for instance, as an example, you've been promoted, or you possibly been given some kind of a high profile or a high position in some kind of an organization. Maybe while you're going about your business, getting things in order, you notice that there are certain people in this group or in this organization that possibly have been taking advantage of the situation, whether it's stealing money, stealing other people's time, treating other people extremely badly, verbal abuse, sarcasm, downplaying other people's roles in this situation to try to promote themselves. You notice this right off the bat, and you are willing to be patient enough and strong enough to come up with some kind of a way to address the situation where it's more than likely that something will be done about it, and where you are not in the fray, or you are not aggravating the situation. So, looks good, you guys. You are more than able to handle this situation, whatever it is. I suppose it could be in a relationship, but I'm not really getting that. So, your challenge is the Queen of Pentacles, which is your own court card. This is a Capricorn court card. Could it be that for some reason in May you're feeling slightly hindered, or slightly blocked, or that you are not as strong in yourself as you normally are, or perhaps you've just been overworking yourself, or you need some time to relax. Either that, or things have been slowing down over time and it's making you antsy because you like to keep yourself busy. Let me look more into this. Why is the Queen of Pentacles their challenge this month? This could also be that you are reluctant to get yourself mixed up in some kind of a situation here because it's kind of taking your energy away from what you would normally be doing, or you're wondering how you have the time for it all. Let's see. Tell me more about the Queen of Pentacles as their challenge. The Nine of Swords. Are you worried about being able to keep what you have somehow? This might be a personal life thing, like up here might be a professional life thing, or an outside situation. This down here looks personal to me. This could be simply things that you are going through with yourself, possibly at night. Let me show you what I got. So there's the Queen of Pentacles, which is your court card. This is directly influencing you, or your ability to be yourself. With it, you have the Nine of Swords. This is kind of apt, actually. I don't know if you've ever heard of the term sleep paralysis, where people literally feel as though something is sitting on their chest and they can't move. It's a phenomenon that happens where you are actually awake, but you can't get your eyes to open up and you can't get your body to wake up all the way, where you're just kind of lying there, unable to move even though you're awake. Sometimes it can feel as though something is holding you down. This can also be nightmares, trouble sleeping, insomnia, being afraid to fall asleep, possibly having a hard time falling asleep, and then possibly oversleeping the next morning to make up for it. There's something going on in your psyche that's affecting you. With it, you have the Eight of Cups, which I'm looking at as your remedy, which is sailing away from troubled waters in the past, moving on, emotionally moving on from an emotionally unfulfilling situation. It could be that you're having a hard time letting go of something and you think that you're fine throughout the day. You feel fine, but at night it comes up, either in your dreams or you wake up in the middle of the night with all these troubles on your mind when you don't have troubles on your mind throughout the day. It might be that you're suppressing stress here, where you think that you're not stressed out, but then you're having all these troubles with sleeping at night because you actually are stressed out and you're suppressing it throughout the day in order to function, in order to get things done, in order to do the things that you have to do. It looks like you're suppressing something that is going on with your emotional body here. You might have some grief that still needs to be acknowledged or released. You might still have some unresolved feelings that come from the past that are bothering you. It's almost like you're afraid of them coming back to haunt you, or some part of you is afraid it's not over, or there's something going on here with your inner self that looks difficult. Let's see, could this be that you know you need to emotionally let go of something or even walk away from something that is emotionally unfulfilling, but you're still hanging on to it? And because you are still hanging on to it, you can't sleep in peace at night, or something is niggling at you or bothering you about it. Maybe it's time to acknowledge that it's time to walk away from something or to leave something emotionally behind, so that you can move on. Should I pick more on that? Sure, why not? I actually have a special deck. Let me see if I can grab it. I have a special deck that is designed for this, so let's see what is going on with you. This is called the Oracle of Nightmares, and it can help point out exactly what is really going on with your subconscious here on what's bothering you. Sometimes it's hard to tell what's bothering us. Sometimes we experience like free-floating anxiety or free-floating depression or sadness, and we can't exactly identify always where it's coming from. So let's see. What is preying on their mind? What is bothering them? What are their nightmares? What do their nightmares have to do with? Okay. All right. I'll show you what the three of them are, and then I'll put them back down. I'll just spiel out what I see in here. First, you had intuition. Trigger warning, these cards are kind of dark and scary looking. It's called the Oracle of Nightmares. It's, you would expect this instead of them looking pleasant. So if scary images bother you, you may not want to look at this part. and just not look at the screen, just listen to what I say. So there is intuition. Then there is wounds. Wounds. And then I find this very telling. This is scrutiny. Scrutiny. So this might be related to this situation up here. You may be reluctant to get involved at all. You may be reluctant to just turn a blind eye to the situation because of fears that even if you're calm, even if you're positive, even if you're gentle but firm in how you address this, it looks like you have some leftover wounds from possibly your childhood or when you were younger or how you were raised or what you had to deal with in the past that is getting in the way of you fully being able to stand up to this situation or get involved in this situation. So it looks like your fears, you're afraid that your fears are your intuition. It could be that you're having certain fears about this situation and you are afraid that these fears are actually your intuition. I am not getting that they are fully your intuition. There may be some elements of this that are coming from your intuition, but a certain amount of it is not in reality with the situation. It's leftover wounds from the past. So don't, it's like there's some niggling part of you that is afraid that something is going to happen or that if you do something, this horrible thing is going to happen if you stand up to something. But I'm getting more that it's fears rather than your intuition. What you are viewing as your intuition may not be your intuition at all. And this is because of wounds that you have experienced. These wounds that you've experienced have to do with scrutiny. Maybe growing up you had situations where you were the scapegoat. You were the scapegoat. Things got blamed on you even if you weren't involved or had nothing to do with it. Or you were overly criticized or overly scrutinized. And maybe you don't want to draw in people's attention to you at this time. Maybe you just need to relax and take it easy and do your own thing, but it seems like you don't want to be under the watchful eye of something here, or you're paranoid about being overly noticed by the wrong energies, and then they may come after you or be watching you, or this could even be worries about being spied on. Maybe you grew up in a situation where you were constantly scrutinized, or everything to do, like your parents read your diary, or you had no privacy whatsoever. People were constantly scrutinizing you or possibly blaming you for, without evidence, for things that weren't your doing or weren't your fault. And it may be because you are choosing to stand up to this situation up here. It's bringing up some mild anxiety or even some strong anxiety that you have left over from these past experiences where you do not want to be overly noticed, you do not want to be scrutinized, you don't want to be blamed for anything that isn't your fault. And you're afraid that this may create a whole mess of problems for you in the future if you do stand up to something. And so for now, possibly you've been holding back where you haven't been, even though you know something is going on here, you haven't been saying anything about it or doing anything about it because possibly you just don't want to be involved because of all of these things. But the fact that you are not saying anything about it or not doing anything about it is equally as disturbing for you, which is the reason on why you're having a hard time sleeping at night. So I would avoid giving your energy to your fears here. I am seeing up here that this Five of Swords situation is easily vanquished or easily dealt with, where it will not be able to continue with what it's been doing. If you just stand in your power, remain calm, but gentle, but firm about what you know, what you've seen, and also in protecting others here from keeping this from being able to be tolerated in the future, or for it to be able to continue in the future. But there is a proper way of doing it where, like I said in the beginning, the best strategy is to stay calm and to stay grounded and firm in boundaries and what you know. And as long as you do that, there is no backlash that is able to really happen here, because you're not falling prey to it, or you're not fighting back with it in the same manner. You have the upper hand in this situation. So it looks like, almost to me, like this is some kind of a test where if you can do this, if you can handle this situation, you can finally let these old ghosts go, where they no longer are in your subconscious or in your psyche preying on you like that. It's almost like standing up to an energy once and for all in a totally different way that enables you to not have this pattern continue anymore in the future, or to let this haunt you in your subconscious where it comes out in dreams. So, all right, let's move on. So what is helping you is the Four of Wands. Looks like you are building something. You have recently built a solid foundation for something that you plan on having it continue on in your life, and to continue to add to it over time, to continue to help it along, to grow. But the basic solid foundation of it is set now. So this could be a relationship, this could be a job, this could be a living situation, this could be a new home, this could be land you've recently purchased, this could be lots and lots of things. But it looks like things are stabilizing, things are growing, and you feel a sense of solidity now, like you can count on this to stay. And you are seeing a semblance of safety or groundedness in something that you have been building. So this is just the beginning, but it's solid enough now where you can count on it to be there. It's a reason to celebrate. You may even be going to some kind of a celebration this month, whether it's a wedding or a christening or a baby shower or some kind of rite of passage. Could be your grand opening of a business that you have just opened up. It could be doing some kind of little tradition to mark the rite of passage of building the foundation of a house. This could be an anniversary of like possibly being together for a year or something like that. This could be so many things, but this is good news or a reason to celebrate here. So let's see if I get any more on it. This could be just an energy of standing up to bullies, but in the right way that is completely confident. Standing up to a-holes, or standing up to instead of being quiet and letting other people's business be their business. It looks like you're done with that. Standing up to bullies. Okay. The Four of Wands. Look, it's the same message. So I don't really think that this needs any more elaboration here. I think that the message is pretty clean and clear. The Four of Wands with the Four of Wands. You have a nice new beginning of a foundation. You feel pretty solid. It's still in the beginning stages, so it's not completely built, whatever it is. But it's off to a really good start, and you see things solidifying and becoming more stable. Very good. Some kind of a reason to celebrate. This could be even hosting something, hosting some kind of a celebration as well. This could be somebody's bat mitzvah or bar mitzvah, or like a sweet 16 birthday party, or a coming of age for a young person. This is what that is reminding me of. This is like the coming of age for a young person to celebrate the beginning of adulthood. This could be bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, or it could be a sweet 16 party, or it could be betrothment, like a, what do you call it, like a bachelorette party or a bachelor's party before a wedding, where the maids of honor get together and are able to celebrate the last little bits of singledom that somebody has before they commit to something. Something like that. Okay. At the root of the matter is the Queen of Cups, your opposite energy. So you have two opposite queens here. Your own queen, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups, which is a Cancer court card. If for some reason you happen to have planets in Cancer, like if you were born on a full moon, or if you have planets in Cancer and then planets or something, or positions in Capricorn, like let's say you're a Capricorn sun with a Cancer moon, or you're a Cancer sun with a Capricorn rising, or something like that. Or you, yeah, you get what I'm saying here. This is a nice balance between these two queens. Looks like you're having a harder time with your Capricorn self than you are with your Cancer self. It looks like your Cancer aspect of yourself is very strong here, and the Capricorn side of you needs a little push, or needs a little oomph, or needs a little strength, or needs a little backup even, possibly. But I suppose this could be another person as well, a water sign or a Cancer that is prominent in your life. But basically, this is self-care. This is emotional self-care. Like Capricorn, its opposite is about go, 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 get it done. You may go for hours, working for hours without realizing you've drank any water. And that's normal for a Capricorn, you know, to resist physical needs in order to get something done. Like forgetting to eat good food, or forgetting to drink water, or forgetting to have self-care. And it's not oftentimes not until they've worked themselves to the bone that they are forced to rest. This doesn't always happen. This mainly happens when Capricorn is either imbalanced or has been working way too much. They can forget about their bodily needs or their physical needs in order to keep on going. Capricorn in astrology is ruled by Saturn. Saturn rules afflictions. So Saturn has to do with things like starvation, the well being dry, needs, things needing things that aren't there. Cancer energy is very much the opposite. It's about eating good food, drinking lots of water, lots of self-care, lots of taking care of other people. Capricorn energy, when it's a little bit imbalanced, when it encounters someone who's having a rough time, it oftentimes says things like buck up, or deal with it, or welcome to adulthood. Shit happens, you have to deal with it, you have to keep on moving on. Cancer deals with things differently, where if someone is having a rough time, Cancer says, oh honey, here, let me make you some soup, or why don't you lie down for a second and I'll take care of you. It's very motherly, whereas Capricorn energy is very fatherly. But, I mean, some aspects The good aspects of the father archetype or Capricorn is giving someone the tools that they need to further their self along. Not doing it for them, but giving them the tools that they need, or investing in it where that they have a little nest egg to start off with. This can be having college savings saved up for your children. This can be teaching your children skills that they can rely on for the rest of their lives, where they are not dependent on something. They know how to provide for themselves. Cancer is emotional security. So this is letting your children know that you love them, that you're there for them. If they fall and bonk their knee and are crying, Cancer gives them a hug. And after Cancer gives them a hug, Capricorn says, okay, how about let's go do a hobby together. Let's go out fishing. And that'll keep the kid's mind off of the fact that their knee hurts and gives them something to do instead. So it's about a balance here, which is reminding me of Temperance up here. Temperance is about balancing opposites. Or balancing two very different energies to come up with some kind of a blending here. So my advice to you is self-care is extremely important. You shouldn't be made to feel like you have to be tough all the time. It might be that you've been a little too tough on yourself here, or others have been too tough on you, which is why you had scrutiny earlier with the Nightmare card. Maybe you've been overly taught to buck up and just deal with it to the point where you are ignoring your emotions, or you're suppressing your emotions, where you really do need a certain amount of sympathy and empathy and emotional backup, and that you need to drink water and you need to eat good food and you need to take care of yourself, and it's important to rest when you need to too. Maybe you've been overworking yourself and you need to take a rest temporarily to come back to yourself, or to reach peaceful sleep as a goal, or to take care of yourself. You may also have somebody in your environment that is telling you this. You might have a Queen of Cups sort of a person in your environment that's saying, honey, you need to take care of yourself. You need to drink water. You need to get good rest at night. You need to do the things that you need to do in order to feel emotionally and physically secure here. And it could be that what's helping you is to come up with some kind of a new regimen, or some kind of a new pattern, or a new tradition of taking care of yourself that perhaps you didn't have put in place before. And this could be so many things. Whatever it is that makes you happy, whatever it is that makes you feel secure, and whatever makes you feel like you are solid. So, should I pick more on the Queen of Cups? I think I've said everything that needed to be said. Or someone around you may be reflecting to you that you've gotten too tough, and you've gotten too too tough, and you need to soften it up a bit. Okay. So, in the recent past, looks like you had some kind of a wish granted, or you feel very lucky about something, or you've accomplished something that makes you very happy. This is the Nine of Cups. You've seen success happen based off of something that you had a lot of emotional investment in. This could be a relationship. This could be love. This could be something that you poured a lot of your heart and soul into, and it has come about. This could be a solidifying of some kind of a relationship. If this is a relationship between opposites, like Cancer, Capricorn, opposites, it's a nice balance. It's a nice balance. You guys are able to fill in what the other one lacks, and you're able to support each other. It makes you feel more whole than you did before, or a little bit more healthy than you did before. You feel as though you are appreciated, or you are loved, or you are not alone in bearing responsibilities for a matter where you have a partner in this now that is able to handle responsibilities with you, and to go on vacation together with, or to do fun things with. Let me see if I get more. This could be a wish has happened that you have put a lot of your energy into, and it looks like it has come about. Whoa, if you are hosting some kind of a wedding or some kind of celebration, it looks as though it is off to a really good start, and it will have a very good outcome if it hasn't already happened. If it's already happened, it was a success. No thunderstorms in the middle of the wedding, the cake didn't fall over, people didn't get too drunk, you know. It looks like if you have organized some kind of a gathering, it has been successful. Okay. Tell me more about the Nine of Cups. Judgment. You have been successful in transmuting something that was you that you recognized as getting in the way of you being able to be your truest self. How could I put that in a more like earthly, practical way? Maybe you have overcome an addiction, or you have overcome an old pattern that you knew or that you realized and recognized was not good for you, either for your emotional health, your mental health, your physical health. You may have overcome some kind of old haunt or old feeling that has been holding you back. It looks as though you are weaving things in a good way for the future, where you have recognized and seen and awakened to the things that were no longer serving you, or the things that were getting in the way of you being able to be truly happy or to follow your destiny or your sense of purpose. Sorry, Raven, not right now, bud. Nope. No. You know what? I'm actually going to go feed my cat, and that'll get him off my back. I'll be right back. All right. There's nothing like feeding a cat wet food to get them to leave you alone. All right. I think we were here with the Nine of Cups and Judgment. Yeah. Yeah, maybe your assessment of things has changed, or you finally accepted advice from someone like the Queen of Cups, and you started to practice whatever the advice is, and you've had extremely good results. Or your own intuition, instead of telling you a bunch of fears, has been telling you how to take care of yourself, or possibly you've gotten feedback from someone else. And it looks like you did something about it, or you practiced it, or you started to change. And you've noticed immediate good results that make you feel incredibly encouraged that things are going in a good direction. I don't know if this is something like you were having symptoms of dry skin or painful joints, like your knees or your joints, or just you weren't as agile. Your body was starting to maybe you're realizing you're only capable of a certain amount of physical work, and you had to rest. And if you didn't rest, you may have had some kind of a physical breakdown. I don't know if it was a bad back or lower back issues or joints, or your skin was too dry, or you realized that you were extremely dehydrated, or maybe something to do with skin rashes, or something Saturnine, some kind of Saturnine affliction, physical affliction. But it looks like you have started some kind of a new regimen or a new way of taking care of yourself, and you're having immediate results from it, where perhaps things are not as bad as you thought. Maybe it was just a simple symptom for something that you weren't doing, that you didn't realize you weren't doing enough. Anyway, or this could be you have a relationship now where you feel very cooperative with each other. And because of this, it's naturally allowing you to lay some of your old ghosts or your old haunts down. Maybe fears of being alone, or fears of always having to do all the work yourself, or that you couldn't get emotional care somehow you were taught it was a sign of weakness to receive emotional care. But it looks like things have changed and you have laid certain things down and you're seeing amazing results from this that make you feel incredibly encouraged, or like a wish has come true. So this is odd. Your best possible outcome is the Ten of Swords. So let's get more on it before I even try to interpret this. Why do they have the Ten of Swords as their best possible outcome? Maybe something is set up to end, and maybe you've been trying to hang on to it instead of allowing it to end somehow. Or your mind and how you see things or how you understand things is dramatically changing, where an old way of thinking is coming to an end. Or an old way of perceiving things is coming to an end. Or it's the end of victimization. Let's see. Why do they have the Ten of Swords as their best possible outcome? The Six of Swords and the Devil. Maybe you are having a major transformation. You had Judgment earlier. That's a big deal. Judgment is a big deal. It looks like you are mentally sailing away from old ways of thinking that had to do with someone exerting their power over you, or dealing with dominance, or dealing with power and control issues, or feelings of being trapped in situations that were highly toxic. But it looks as though you are mentally moving away. I don't know if you have a history of abuse, like in your childhood, or things that you have experienced in life that have made you feel completely victimized. And it's hard for you to deal with that part of yourself because it makes you feel a total lack of control, and you don't ever want to feel that lack of control ever again. And so you may, instead of dealing with it or healing it or viewing it or looking at it, you possibly have shoved it down or suppressed it or not paid attention to that aspect of yourself. And it may have gotten, oftentimes, the more subconscious, difficult emotions that we have, we tend to suppress because we just can't deal with it. But the more you suppress things like that, the larger they get. And it's almost like the shadow side of things refuses to not be seen. The more it is not seen, the larger it grows and the bigger it gets and the more overwhelming it gets. But if we just looked at these things, or listened to what these things have to say to us, oftentimes it's not as large as we think it is, or it doesn't have to become that large in order to be noticed. It's like some aspect of your subconscious has been needing to be noticed and looked at, but you haven't. And it has become larger and larger and larger over time. But it looks as though recently you've had some kind of a huge breakthrough where you realized this, and you have decided to acknowledge it, look at it, and sail away from it. This is the Six of Swords. That instead of ignoring conflict, we have to address conflict, even if that conflict is external, internal conflict, all different kinds of conflict. It's like you haven't been dealing with the conflict, or you haven't been addressing the conflict. And because of that, it got more and more looming and large and out of proportion for what it actually really is. But it looks as though you have had a complete change in perspective, and you are choosing to address these things and work with them and deal with them in a reasonable manner that is much more fair or neutral or objective. Let's put it that way, objective. Rather than it swamping you and sitting on you and demanding your attention to the point where you feel paralyzed. Instead, this is taking matters into your own hands and sailing away or moving on from situations that are like this, where you feel bound or trapped or like you just can't deal with it. You can completely deal with it. It's actually a lot easier than you think. And you are capable of dealing with it in ways that perhaps you didn't even realize your own strength with it, or your own capabilities with this sort of thing. And this is changing a lot for you externally too. You're noticing the energy getting better or getting easier to deal with, or you notice direct results that are very encouraging. There's strength and temperance there, and the Six of Swords. So no matter how small or large this seems, you are able to deal with it, but trying to ignore it isn't going to work. But you're more than capable of that. You can do that. It may just be that you need to identify something, or it's hard sometimes to make rational sense out of those things, but you can totally do it. And also not allowing others to be victimized either, and standing up to situations in a proper way, or a more balanced way that addresses the situation where other people are not misused as well. Maybe you were fearing that something was going to end badly. Maybe you were afraid that something was not, that something was going to end badly, or be sabotaged, or be twisted somehow. But it looks as though things are able to be worked out. Things are able to be addressed in a calm way, and solutions are able to be discovered on how to move whatever this is along forward in a healthy way in the future. Instead of it crashing or ending badly, it can be resolved through proper communication, or if it can't be resolved, instead of staying in it, you are perfectly willing to move on and no longer experience this anymore and seek out something completely different. One way or another, it gets addressed and it gets solved, or it gets addressed and can't be solved and you move on. This is your best possible outcome, instead of staying in it. So, in the future, it looks like you have the Two of Wands. There are new things on the way. There are new opportunities, new possibilities, new choices to be made, possible movement, travel, expansion, possible expansion here. So you're looking over strategies, plans, what you can do in the meantime to further this along. Could be a new venture you're thinking of going into or embarking on. A new way of doing things that you did not do before, This can be looking over your options, looking over your choices, looking over strategies of how to move forward towards what you want. Let's look at it further. Tell me more about the Two of Wands coming up for them in the future. The Three of Wands, yeah, there's a natural good progression of things here. The steps in between the motion of things seem fairly small. They're not huge steps. The steps aren't far apart from each other. It looks like it's a natural graduation of things. And you see a lot of possibility and potential for the future here that is very real and very able to be grown or cultivated into something even bigger than what it is now. So let me see if I get anything else. It does look like you're waiting for something to come to you or for some kind of information you need first before you really get going with something, but it looks like you've got your eyes on the prize or your eyes on the horizon. You're expecting something to come your way. So let's see. The Knight of Wands. Maybe someone's visiting you, or you're thinking of traveling and visiting somebody, or possibly relocating or going someplace else in order to pursue something. So you have the Two of Wands. Then you have the Three of Wands, which is very similar. Waiting for something to come, or you've put something out there and you're waiting for a response, or you're thinking over plans on your next steps, on expanding something, having something grow, or potentially expanding to different locations, or going on some kind of a trip. But for now, or someone may be coming to see you, or something may be coming your way and you're expecting it. Communication will come, things will grow. You went from a 2 to a 3. Things will expand. Things will grow. You will see progress. You will eventually come to a place where you need to take action or further action or more action on something. But it looks like it's a nice graduation of energy here where it's not like you're going to be hurried or rushed in any way, or that things will be moving too slowly. It's a nice pace here. And then you have the Knight of Wands. So possible travel, possible adventure, possible expansion, discovering new things, discovering new knowledge even. This could be going on some kind of a trip. This could be somebody coming to see you. Or this could be you going to go see someone else. Or having to travel to further along something. Truth, things will be very open as far as motives, what's happening. There are no secrets here, or there's nothing hidden in this matter at all. It's very what you see is what you get. So don't read anything more into something than what you see. It is what it is, and it has a very good potential of growing. I see definite potential in here for travel, for expansion, and you don't necessarily have to worry about any hidden motives or any weirdness with this situation at all. It's nothing like this at all. So you don't have to worry about that. There is not going to be anything difficult about this venture or this exploration you're about to do. Okay, so you right now might potentially be falling in love, or you may be falling in love with your life, or there is a new opportunity for joy that is coming into your life. This could also be pregnancy or expecting a baby, or good news that there's going to be a baby born in the family. This can be a new love, a new journey that is all about emotional self-discovery and emotional comfort and emotional happiness here. It's just the very beginning. It's the beginning of a journey. So it's important for you to open your heart, to have your heart be open, to allow yourself to be innocent, or allow yourself to have hopes in this matter, and to show yourself for who you actually really are. Not that you wouldn't, but that's very much a part of this card. So, or you are wishing that things will unfold in a timely, gentle way where you see joyful progress in a matter, and it looks as though you'll be seeing it and experiencing it. This can be a new way of feeling. So, in your surroundings, looks like there is the Five of Cups. Have you become completely dissatisfied with where you have been physically? Like, you don't want to live where you're living anymore, or you don't want the job that you've had all along anymore. You don't want a relationship anymore if it has caused you pain. You are disappointed in some kind of a situation involving your surroundings. This could even just be disappointment that things were the way that they were. You thought better of these people, or you thought better of the situation than that, and you don't understand why it came to that. So, if this is the case, you may very well be considering moving to a new job, a new location, a new relationship, a new way of being that has nothing to do with this anymore. And this may be very well what, as your best possible outcome, you are deciding to sail away from. You are sailing away from disappointment. You're sailing away from sadness. You're sailing away from feeling emotionally unfulfilled. Onto much, much better lands or waters or situations where it should be about truth. It should be about expansion. It should be about growth. It should not have anything to do with anything like this at all. And this may be the last little dregs of completely letting go of something and moving on onto a much better reality here, onto a much better situation where you feel excited and happy and joyful about the future and things that are to come. Your hope is for rest, relaxation, healing, vision, inspiration, feeling better, feeling well rested, feeling inspired, and ready to play, ready to expand, ready to move on, ready to go on a new journey. This is a vision quest here. This is receiving vision, or this is doing what is necessary in order to spiritually and emotionally replenish yourself. This is what you hope for. And your general outcome is that you will receive help if you need it. If you need assistance, if you need people to help, if you need a few more extra hands in a matter, you have it. And you are off to a good, slow but steady growth. Nice, not too slow and not too quick. A nice, gradual, steady improvement of things. And also looking at what needs to be adjusted here, but the answers come to you pretty effortlessly, and you're able to be open-minded enough and flexible enough to adapt and do whatever changes are necessary in order to help something grow along. And Let me pick another card to go with it. Tell me more about the Knight of Pentacles as their general outcome. You're off to a great start. You've come a long way already, honestly. But it looks like you're off to a really great growth period that will eventually lead to a harvest. And if you need help, you have it. And don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. Or to lend a helping hand to someone else who needs it. And it looks like whatever unhealthiness was going on before is no longer going on in the future. And things look very healthy in the future. So, ooh, the Nine of Cups again. Yes, very nice. You do. You feel very blessed and happy, and it's all because of things that you have done. It's not by chance. It's not by pure luck. This is all results of things that you have set into motion. These are all results of things that you have not given up on, that you have continued to go with. And your wishes will be granted. You will be able to relax and rest and pace yourself where you're not overdoing it. And things are growing and becoming something much bigger than they have been. Very nice. Or you get a visitor that you are extremely excited on having to come to visit you. This could be a grown child that's coming to visit you. This could be more interest in what you do, and therefore more people want to be involved in whatever it is that you're growing, and you just feel really good about it. Okay, you guys, hopefully that resonated for someone or helped someone in some way. And I wish you all the best. Take care, and I'll see you guys soon. Okay, bye.